Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. The two cups that are currently in rotation in the GBL aren't necessarily my cup of tea, so I thought we would take a look at someone else's battles today, someone who was able to reach Legend with the team that you guys are seeing on the screen right now in the Open Master League, and these battles were submitted to me by my Battle Frontier teammate and a very talented Master League player, Sammy P193. He is the Master League specialist on our team, and he's also one of the most talented Master League players I know. So you know these battles are going to be good, and you know the team is going to work really well. The team he used to reach Legend is a very standard, very reliable team. You have Zacian on the lead, running Close Combat and Wild Charge, not Play Rough. And then you have Dialga Origin and Yveltal in the back. The Dialga is running Iron Head and Thunder, so those of you who do not have Roar of Time, rejoice. You can run it with Thunder and it is going to perform really well as well. And he's running Yveltal with Focus Blast, and his Yveltal is buddy boosted, but that Focus Blast is going to be very interesting. I'm not really sure what he uses as a safe swap / pivot. I am watching these battles for the first time with you guys, but I figured we would learn as we go along what his strategy is. I would assume that maybe the Dialga would be the safe swap because it has that Iron Head, and if you draw fairy types out, then you can threaten with that Iron Head. You also have Thunder on Dialga, which is going to threaten Ho-Oh if you draw a Ho-Oh out. So I would assume it's Dialga, but we'll have to see as we go along. Let's get into the battles. In this match, we saw a Waterfall Primarina on the lead, and the opponent actually swapped out immediately into Duskmane Necrozma. Okay, he has the Yveltal, he's going to bring it in immediately. Of course, he had to shield the Sunsteel Strike, but he goes for a full farm down on the Necrozma, which means Primarina is going to have to take 2 Oblivion Wings. They take 1, shield the second, and then he figured that maybe the opponent is going to have another Pokemon that is going to be weak to Yveltal in the back. It looks like it is going to be Metagross. Because of how fast the opponent swapped into that Duskmane Necrozma, it made sense that they were probably trying to draw the Yveltal out. So he saves the Yveltal, he takes an Earthquake on Dialga, but it looks like Dialga should be able to take this win for us now because he has a shield left. He's going to go ahead and shield the Hydro Cannon from the Primarina, go for an Iron Head, which will KO, and he should be able to farm this Metagross down and take that win. Moving on to the next match, we're going to see an amazing lead of Yveltal. Now here's the problem with not running Play Rough. If you go for that Wild Charge, which you have to against Yveltal, then you are going to debuff yourself. So that's unfortunate, and we are going to have to use shields here because we want to get a Wild Charge off on this Yveltal. But it looks like the opponent is going to go ahead and double shield their Yveltal. We're even able to reach a 3rd Wild Charge before the opponent can reach another Oblivion Wing. Take that Yveltal out. We still have a shield left, and our opponent is going to have a Metagross in the back. We swap immediately into the Yveltal, and the opponent brings out a Kyogre. Okay, we're able to land the Focus Blast, take the Kyogre out, and at this point, with a shield left, the Dialga should be able to take this win for us, but the opponent goes ahead and top left. Okay, moving on to the next battle. I am curious on how he plays the Zacian Mirror because I always fail miserably in these. Ideally, you want your opponent to throw first. Assuming they're going to Wild Charge, they will debuff themselves first, which is good in this situation. You are able to get shields from them before you use your shields, and we were able to take the Wild Charge before we got debuffed, so this is good. We're in a good position. They let the next Wild Charge go, and then they bring in Yveltal. He's able to go for another Wild Charge, take the opponent's final shield, and now in this mirror match, we should be at an advantage because we have that Focus Blast. So I think he's going to go for Focus Blast, not Oblivion Wing. Yep. Let's see how much this does. I don't think it's enough to KO. It is. We take them out, and their final Pokemon is a Necrozma. The opponent goes ahead and top left. Moving on to the next battle, he is going to get a Dialga Origin on the lead. I kind of don't like this matchup for Zacian because they have that Iron Head, which is going to hit for super effective. Ideally, you want them to throw their Iron Head before you debuff yourself. That way you can take it and you won't have to use a shield, which is what the opponent does in this case, which is good. He's going to be able to get 2 close combat's off, he takes a shield with the second one, and he's going to bring in his own Dialga Origin here. He can take the Iron Head. I don't think that was enough for a Roar of Time. And the opponent has a Ho-Oh in the back. Is the opponent going to see this Thunder coming? They probably think it's Roar of Time, so they're going to go ahead and shield anyways. But it looks like he's going to let his Dialga go here and save 2 shields for Yveltal. Can Yveltal take this win for him? Let's see. He's going to go ahead and shield the Sacred Fire. Oh no! He gets the debuff. That is so unfortunate. And the opponent's final Pokemon is going to be Palkia Origin. But he has a lot of energy on this Yveltal. Gonna go for that first Oblivion Wing. He has to leave with a little bit of energy so that he could reach a move before the Ho-Oh can reach a move. And he is going to be able to reach a third Oblivion Wing for that Ho-Oh. It is enough to KO, and he takes that win. Moving on to the next match, we are going to get a Ho-Oh on the lead, and we have that Wild Charge, which is going to hit for super effective. We should be able to reach 2 of them before the opponent can reach 2 moves on Ho-Oh. So they're going to let the first Wild Charge go. We have to go ahead and shield whatever this is, and they're staying in. After debuffing themselves with a Brave Bird, we're able to go for another Wild Charge, take a shield from the opponent, and then he swaps into Dialga and manages to farm the Ho-Oh down. And the opponent is going to bring in their own Yveltal. Okay, let's see how this goes. He goes for an Iron Head. He manages to get the Yveltal really low. And then after throwing a Dark Pulse, the opponent brings in a Necrozma Dawn Wings. As soon as they see this Yveltal, they're just going to go ahead and top left GG's to the opponent. Moving on to the next battle, we're going to see another Ho-Oh on the lead. And let's see if this plays out any differently than the last match. It looks like the opponent is going to go for that Brave Bird immediately. And they swap out into their own Zacian. Okay. Looks like he's going to go for a Wild Charge and then swap into his own Dialga. If this opponent is running Play Rough and Wild Charge, then the Dialga should be in a good position. And it looks like the opponent is running Play Rough, so they don't have that close combat to threaten this Dialga. He's going to go for an Iron Head and leave with a little bit of extra energy for this Ho-Oh. Hopefully this Thunder can land. Of course, the opponent is going to go ahead and use one of their shields. They have 2 shields left anyways. But they reach a Sacred Fire on our Zacian, and we need 2 Wild Charges to take this out because they have a shield left. We're going to go for this first one. Unfortunately, because we threw on CMP tie, we're not going to be able to get the second one off. They're able to take us out with a Brave Bird, and the opponent's final Pokemon is a Gyarados. This is really interesting, but Gyarados is a surprisingly good pick in the Open Master League because it can deal with a lot of Pokemon that are currently in the meta. I guess the Gyarados was going to be able to reach another Aqua Tail there, which is why he swapped into Dialga, but he should be able to reach that Oblivion Wing before the Ho-Oh can reach another move, so the opponent goes ahead and top lefts. Okay, in this next match, could we be seeing a Core Breaker in this Tapu Bulu here? Let's see how this plays out because this could get a little bit tough. Now, I thought he might swap Dialga into the Tapu Bulu because it is going to take neutral from the Nature's Madness, whereas Yveltal is going to take super effective. But it makes sense to save that Dialga in the back based on what they had in the lead. They had a Palkia in the lead, and Dialga should be able to take care of the Palkia, but it looks like the opponent is going to bring in their Ho-Oh, which is their final Pokemon, and that is going to be a little bit tricky for Zacian and Dialga to take care of, but we have a shield advantage, and the opponent doesn't know what our final Pokemon is, so they're probably going to save that final shield for Palkia. They let their Ho-Oh go, and once that Palkia sees the Dialga Origin, the opponent goes ahead and quits. GG's to the opponent. Moving on to the next match, we're going to be up against another Dialga Origin on the lead, but this time the opponent waits for us to throw the close combat before throwing an Iron Head, so we are going to have to use a shield. We're still able to reach 2 close combats before the opponent can reach a second Iron Head, manage to land one, and then we swap out into our own Dialga, and we draw out a Yveltal. Okay, at least they're running Dark Pulse and not Focus Blast. We're able to take 1 Dark Pulse and then go for an Iron Head, take the opponent's final shield. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to reach another Iron Head, but let's see what he decides to do here. Okay, he brings in Yveltal. He's gonna have to take an Oblivion Wing here, which is gonna hurt, but then he swaps out into Zacian, farms up as much as he can before the opponent can reach another move, and the opponent's final Pokemon is gonna be Tapu Bulu. Okay, we have a shield left. We should probably save it for the Yveltal so that we could reach Oblivion Wing against this thing, but to my surprise, 3 Wild Charges is going to be enough to take this Tapu Bulu out. We actually reach a 3rd Wild Charge, and this Dialga is really low, so the opponent goes ahead and leaves that match. Zacian is able to take Tapu Bulu out with resisted Wild Charges and survive to reach 3. That was pretty cool. Moving on to the next battle, we're going to be up against a Landorus on the lead, which is pretty bad for this team. We are ABA weak to Landorus, and we also do not have that play rough to hit for neutral at least. Both of the moves on Zacian are going to be resisted, but we do manage to take a shield from them before having to let the Zacian go and then bring in Yveltal. Okay, the opponent goes for a Stone Edge, and then they swap into Palkia. This is good. We are going to be able to align our Dialga to their Palkia. They go for a Spatial Rend. Unfortunately, we have to let it go because a Stone Edge from this Landorus is going to be very deadly for our Yveltal. We're able to go for an Oblivion Wing and take the opponent's final shield. I think we have to shield here. Unfortunately, it's Sandsear Storm. We get baited, but the opponent's final Pokemon is a Zarude, and our Yveltal is absolutely going to destroy the Zarude. We're able to go for 2 Oblivion Wings, take it out, and we should be able to take that Landorus out with a Sucker Punch, and that is going to be a 5-0. Now, unfortunately, he didn't record the part where he leveled up to Legend, so I do have a screenshot here for you guys. He makes it to 3007 ELO. And now we are going to take a look at the Pikachu Libre set, which is a couple sets later, I believe. And in the first game, we're going to be up against Yakai, the world champion. We get a really nice lead of Palkia Origin. The opponent swaps into Landorus, and we have to bring in our Yveltal. Now, unfortunately, he has to take a Stone Edge there, which really hurts. But this is just Sandsear Storm, and he lives. Let's see if the opponent lets this Oblivion Wing land. They do. And it's actually okay if we had lost the switch there because we have Dialga in the back anyways. And instead of bringing in Zacian, he brings that Dialga for the Palkia, probably calling that the opponent is going to have something else that is going to be good against Dialga in the back because they led Palkia. It looks like they are going to have an Yveltal. They let the Thunder go, and then they go ahead and they top left. Moving on to the next battle, we're up against a Rhyperior on the lead. This could get a little bit tricky with the Rock Wrecker because I think it could come close to KOing the Zacian, but unfortunately, he shields a Breaking Swipe bait. He's able to go for a close combat and get the shield back at least, and then the opponent swaps into a Togekiss. Okay, they let the Wild Charge go, which is really good for us. We are going to be able to come in with Dialga and farm them down completely. They're only able to make it to an Ancient Power, which is completely fine. And we come out of that matchup with so much energy for this Rhyperior. Now, I don't think an Iron Head is going to be enough to take them out. We get their final shield out of the way, and then we manage to land an Iron Head, but they live with a sliver of HP. Now, we come in with Yveltal, and the opponent's final Pokemon is a Kartana. They go ahead and they top left. GG's to the opponent. Moving on to the next battle, we're going to see another Ho-Oh on the lead. This time we go for a Wild Charge, and they actually go ahead and shield it. Now we are going to return that shield for the Sacred Fire because we kind of have to land a Wild Charge. The backline is a little bit weak to Ho-Oh. We land a Wild Charge. Okay, we can let Zacian go now, and I think he's going to have to bring in Dialga here to farm it down. And the opponent brings in a Necrozma Dawnwings. Okay, let's see how this plays out. He's going to go ahead and use his final shield here. It is the Moongeist Beam, so good call. And we should be able to build up to back-to-back Iron Heads. Going to go for the Iron Head here. The opponent lets it go, and their final Pokemon is Yveltal. They're gonna have to use their final shield here for the Thunder, and then with their final shield out of the way, we should be able to win this matchup because we have that Focus Blast. The opponent is gonna go for an Oblivion Wing. We make it to that Focus Blast. This is gonna be enough to KO, and we take that win. GG's to the opponent. Moving on to the next match, we're going to be up against a Palkia on the lead, which is a really good lead, but then the opponent swaps into Xerneas. Okay, we can't really swap anything from our backline into the Xerneas because it has access to close combat, so it is going to be very dangerous for our Dialga Origin, and of course that Moonblast is going to one-shot Yveltal, so he has to stay in here with his Zacian and go for these wild charges. We managed to take a shield from the opponent at least, but then we're able to reach another wild charge. The opponent doesn't want to use their final shield, so they let their Xerneas go, and now we have Dialga aligned to their Palkia. So this is perfectly fine. I don't think he wants to use his final shield here, so he lets the Spatial Rend go, but the opponent manages to catch the Iron Head on their final Pokemon, which is Necrozma. We're still in a good position. We have Yveltal for Necrozma. We just need to watch out for a Sunsteel Strike. He shields there, which is a good call. I'm not sure if the opponent could have reached a Dark Pulse and a Sunsteel Strike. I wasn't counting. But he leaves that matchup with so much energy on Yveltal. He will be able to reach 2 Oblivion Wings on the Palkia, one to take their final shield, and the second one will land and take them out. Out where? Out to dinner. No, that's not how it works. Anyways, guys, we have reached the final battle of the video. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. But on the lead, we're going to see another Ho-Oh. This time, I think this is Apex Ho-Oh. Yep, the purified one. But they go ahead and shield once. We are able to land a wild charge on them, and now we can let Zacian go and bring in our Dialga. Okay, the opponent immediately swaps into their own Dialga. Let's see how this plays out. We don't have that Roar of Time, but it doesn't matter because the opponent goes ahead and shields anyways when we go for that Iron Head. And we have to let whatever this is go. They go for an Iron Head of their own, so this is really good for us. We're able to reach another move, get their Dialga really low, come in with a Yveltal, farm them down, and the opponent just goes ahead and top left, and we don't even see what they have in the back, and that is going to be a 5-0, getting him really high into the 3000s, and there it is, that shiny Pikachu Libre. Congratulations on Legend, and thank you again for the battle submissions. Those were so fun to review. This is going to be his finishing elo, and that is going to bring us to the end of our video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like my content, please consider subscribing. Maybe leave a like, it helps me out so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!